Good morning. A little update on Freddie. I looked out of the window this morning and could see the beautiful tortoise shell from next door. Now, as you know, we're cat worshippers, and she was in our garden, as she usually is. She's only about eight months old, and she survived the fox attack some weeks ago, and she's now fully grown. And Freddie and her have been making eyes at each other through the sliding glass doors in my garden, to my garden. And I thought, well, here we go, let's let him out and see what happens. They've been chasing each other around all over the place and in next door's garden for an hour and a half now. They're absolutely besotted with each other. It's lovely to see. Now, Elsa knows the ropes a bit more than Freddie, so presumably she's teaching him. So we have to let them go. I know we like to keep them in, we don't want them run over by cars, but hey, we all run a risk, don't we? But for the time being, he's having a lovely, lovely time. And when he comes in, he's going to sleep for England. Now, back to work. The one I did yesterday, it's had some quite good reviews, but I think this is a bit too muddy, and that's not very well defined there, but well, we can rectify that. This I'm quite pleased with. Somebody suggested this was a trickling stream. That is a pure accident, but this is what happens with watercolour painting. Things happen that you don't expect. You don't plan for them. They're nice when they happen, but I take no credit for it, other than the credit card that I used. So I'm going to do another version of it, but I'm going to try to reduce this. But keep it light, but just put a lot less detail in and put a bit of the sky in, I think. So here we go, my usual palette of lemon yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey, I've just put that out, and burnt sienna. And I'm using the Ron Ranson Hake. If you've not come across Ron Hanson's work, his books, it's online. He's very elderly now, and we owe so much to him as a modern watercolour impressionist. He developed this palette, although I've added the burnt sienna, and he used a much larger tray, display tray, which I occasionally use, that size. That's the one I normally use, that's the other one. But he works using fresh colour straight from the 21mm tubes of cotton watercolour paints with student qualities. But Stephen Cronin refined this, as far as I know, for demonstrating anyway on YouTube, by letting the colours dry, and I find that's a good way of working. Mainly because we were doing so much watercolour that to keep throwing the dried tube paint away is a bit wasteful, so use it like this. But you can use your paint exactly how you like. We're only demonstrating ideas, ways that we do it, and bear in mind, we never do the same thing twice. So just have fun with your watercolours. The paper is 15 by 11 inch, Fabriano, £130. I've got my cup of tea. And that's about all you need to know really, apart from I'm painting at about 85 degrees, 85 degrees to the vertical. Because we're demonstrating, it's easier for me with my camera and tripod to do it that way. One day I might have a boom and I can have the camera here in front of me, but slightly overhead, and I can have the board much flatter, which would be more conducive. But we do get some lovely effects with gravity, pulling the washes down in the wet paper. And as the paper dries out, it takes the dry brush and you get some lovely textures. So I'm going to wet the paper all over. Don't want it too sloppy, it'll take a while to dry. But of course we use hair dryers just to help things along. And what will happen if you're new to watercolour painting is that the paper will expand, and as it does you can re-stretch it and clip it and hold it in place and it stays perfectly flat. But this weight is probably the least you would you would need for watercolour painting like this. You can use £90 or even lighter watercolour papers, but you need to stretch them, which is quite an involved process and it doesn't always work, not when I do it. So this is a good way of painting. Right, the basic colour of raw sienna over that, over parts of it. I'm not doing a drawing, I'm just going to go straight in with it. Just to give a background warmth and a unity, but don't cover the whole paper. Ron Ransom used to, well, does probably, but it leaves lighter areas in the sky. So a bit of, I'm not going to use Payne's grey, that's wet. A bit of red and a bit of ultramarine would do for a sky in there. We're not going to show a lot of the sky, but just a bit darker one over the top. That's okay. Right, I don't want to do any more than that at the moment. That will do for the sky, because I'm going to paint into it with the background trees. As you can see, the paper is now expanding, so we start the reclipping process. Just pull it tight, not so tight that it pulls out from the other, clips the other side. You might need to do all four. Now that paper has gone almost completely flat. There's a little bit of a wrinkle there. Right, now some background colour. Greeny blue. Well, just mix the green with the blue. You can mix a bit of red with it. So I'll get a bit of background. So I'm going to put this rocky bank in there. There's a bit of sienna in it as well. Now I don't want too much dark there because I'm going to put the dark tumbling rocks. A bit of the Grand Canyon. Now let's just put a bit of dark in there. A bit of warm. Just vary things a little bit. This particular hake has caused me a lot of grief in that it splits, the clumps splits. You can bring them back together again, but look, you can see it's all going in clumps, but I'm going to persevere with it. It's losing hairs, a bit like me really. Now let's just etch in some of these. Just a little bit of detail in the near distance or middle distance. Right, so we want some rocks. So nice dark rocks. I'm going to come from about there, and I'm going to put my clumps of bushes and trees hanging precariously to the rocks. And I'm going to try to exploit the card and see if we can get a deliberate trickle of water down. But in trying to do that, it probably won't look anything like it. So, the nice warm colours, yellow, or raw sienna, burnt sienna, red, blue. I'll just dop them in. Plenty of colour. An edge. Really dark now. Into the shadow. I really do enjoy doing these tumbly scenes. But you want your lot of colour in, so when you scrape out, it leaves the residue of the brighter colours, like the red and the sienna. Right. Okay, that will do for that card. Flatten the paper. Now you can see that is perfectly flat. It's had all that water on it. Like that. Right, let's have a cup of bit of my tea. Right, so we'll coming from a height between the strata. Be creative with this. Did that work or not? Oh, we'll see. Okay, now we'll put a bit of background rocks there. Now I want the stronger than I did yesterday because they didn't really show, but not as strong as these. I'll put a big rock in here, which would be much warmer. I'll try and put some greens in as well, because we do get algae growing on rocks as well. So, on the blue side, blue and red, a bit of sienna, on the blue. Water's coming around there. Some yellow. So yellow, I mean raw sienna. Okay, now we'll lift out a bit of that. Okay. I'm going to put some heavier stuff in there, but not too heavy, because I want to put some figures in and I don't want to lose the figures with the contrast not being good enough, like the tones. So let's put a bit of grass. Why not? Bit blue and yellow. Traditional. Bit of sienna, just to vary the colours. Okay, now we go back to the rocks, and I'll keep that green. I'll mix it in with my red and warmer colours here. Put some of that in there. I've found that sometimes the wash dries before you get a chance to scrape it, but if you go over it with the same colour again, it'll soften everything and then you'll be able to redeem it. So let's just re-wet that. Right, rock. There's the water will be tumbling over this. Got quite a bit of water showing in that. Well, here we go. So big rock. That's the light surface of there. Keeping the shadow there and there. Just lightening the face or the top edge of the rocks to give the 3D effect. Hopefully. Now I need to put a bit more dark shadow in there, so red and blue. Just dry brush. Just showing shadow in there. Right, okay, that's okay so far. Now I want to dry brush a bit of it's a summery scene, so we'll put a bit of green, so just raw sienna, burnt sienna, ultramarine, and a bit more blue in that background, I think, just to make it stretch back a little bit. You need a cloth when you're doing this. Just a little bit here. Alright, that's where the figure's going to go. Now, the stream, or the fast tumbling water, I've left quite a bit of this blank, so we're going to come round down here, and we've got the grassy coloured, but I want it a little bit darker than darker. Right, I'll let that go for a moment. Not much I can do with it. Now we want the nice darks in here now. So far we haven't used the rig. All we've done is to use the 2-inch hake and the card. The thing about the hake, you can get very, very fine lines with the edge. You've got a knife edge there for doing your trees, which I should put in. See if I can do it all with apart from the figures, see if I can do it all with this. And I need a bit of calligraphy in this dark that I'm going to put in now. The bushes that are, yeah, wish I hadn't have done that kind of way. I'm taking most of it off by accident. There's a new tube of that. Right, make a good clean now. Okay, right. Sienna, blue, yellow. Nice and dark. I could use burnt umber in this. That I will. Okay, quick swig of tea while I pluck up the courage. As you know, we're always one step from disaster here. Just using bits of the hake. I'm just digging into the paint. Now don't do too much in this. It's a bit of the calligraphy that's going to bring that together. I'll put another bit here, like we did yesterday. Just catching the high spots if I can. Okay, let's go a little bit darker. Okay, we can do the same over on the left hand side just to balance that. Right, now the strokes, or no, I'll do these with the rigger now because I don't want to labour them, make it hard for myself. So the dark this time is going to be ultramarine and the burnt umber. Just clinging to that. So you don't need to overdo it, but just filling the gaps there. Okay, a bit here. Okay. So this is catching the sun, so is my painting. I'm just going to have to draw the blind. Sorry sun, turn the light on. Oh, it's a beautiful day today. We've had some good weather, it's been very cold, but it is winter. Right, let that dry, and I'm going to put in a few trunks there on the blue side, a bit of umber. Just see, you get these lovely fine sort of random hits and misses. Right, just a bit thicker there. So I want 2 minutes of these. A little goes a long way with this. Just a few. So yesterday I killed it with a bit with too much. These are blue. And if I just put a little bit of blue umber in there, we can just oh, Freddie's back. Probably wants to go out again. He'd been out there for 2 hours. Hello, Freddie. Come up here to cause mayhem with us now. Right, now we'll do some figures. Hello, Fred. Hello, mate. Come on my lap and I'll show you some. No, don't go on my palette. There we are, there's Freddie. There you are, people. I've been a good boy today. I've been out playing with my new friend Elsa. Haven't you, eh? Lovely boy. Not so lovely at 3:30 in the morning, though, are you? Hey. Oh, we love him. Sorry for a dog lover and cat hater, but... now, figures. I'm going to put them more or less in the same place, but I'm going to do them a bit larger if I can. Well, at least the one on here, because he's got to give scale to everything. But I'll put in my background ones first. So we'll put a bit of a nondescript blue and red. We'll put one here. Just staging on the rock there. Okay, give that one there. Do a little bit red, slightly redder. Further uphill. Okay, now with the one here we're going to slightly warmer, so a bit of sienna in there. Sorry, when I say sienna, I should say, because we're using both siennas, I'm just using a bit of burnt sienna. So good idea to practice your figures. Stick. Okay, a bird or two in there, give it a signature, and then didn't think Freddie would ever come back this morning. It's like your child having his first day at primary school. Okay, right, well there we are. Let's put it in a mount, in the blue mount, because they seem to do better in there. Right. So there we are, another watercolour. of using a plastic card to give the form to these rocks all over. They're a bit better, the background is better. That's yesterday's effort, although I like the colour of that. I got some lovely colour in there which I missed out on there, but that's nice. It's catching the sun there, so not much else I can say about that. I'll bring you round and you can have a good look at it. Then I'll go and make a fuss of Freddie, our little hero. Right, there we are. So that could be anywhere, couldn't it? The rapids. I know I make it look easy, and I'm not saying I'm good or anything like that, but if you can't do it, it's not because you can't, it's because you haven't done enough of it. I've done hundreds and hundreds of them, well, I've done 600 of them in the last year, 2 years, but over many years, even for me to do this, it's taken a long time. But it's worth the effort. But you should, if you practice and practice and practice, you should make some good progress early on to give you the encouragement to go on. To be honest, most painting is difficult. None of it's easy. Why should it be easy? I wasn't born with this, believe you me. I just was born with the desire to do it. And I haven't had an art lesson in my life. So if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.